Hello, this is Krystal Stanich, and thank you so much for joining me for this week's First Chapter Friday. Today, I will be reading from the beginning of David Baldacci's The Christmas Train. Chapter 1. Tom Langdon was a journalist, a globe-trotting one, because it was in his blood to roam widely. Where others saw only instability and fear in life, Tom felt graced by an embracing independence. He'd spent the bulk of his career in foreign lands, covering wars, insurrections, famines, pestilence, virtually every earthly despair. His goal had been relatively simple. He had wanted to change the world by calling attention to its wrongs. And he did love adventure. However, after chronicling all these horrific events and still seeing the conditions of humanity steadily worsen, he'd returned to America filled with disappointment. Seeking an antidote to his melancholy, he'd started writing drearily light stories for ladies' magazines, home decorating journals, garden digests, and the like. However, after memorializing the wonders of compost and the miracle that was do-it-yourself wood flooring, he wasn't exactly fulfilled. It was nearing Christmas, and Tom's most pressing dilemma was getting from the East Coast to Los Angeles for the holidays. He had an age-old motivation for the journey. In LA was his girlfriend, Lelia Gibson. She'd started out as a movie actress, but after years of appearing in third-rate horror films, she'd begun doing voiceover work. Now, instead of being cinematically butchered for her daily bread, she supplied the character voices for a variety of enormously popular Saturday morning cartoons. In the children's television industry, it was accepted that no one belted out the voices of goofy woodland creatures with greater flair and versatility than golden-piped Lelia Gibson. As proof, she had a shelf full of awards, an outrageously large income, and a healthy share of syndication rights. Tom and Lelia had hit it off on an overnight flight from Southeast Asia to the States. At first, he thought it might have been all the liquor they drank, but when that buzz burned off a couple hours out of LA, she was still beautiful and interesting, if a little ditzy and eccentric, and she still seemed attracted to him. He stayed over in California, and they got to know each other even better. She visited him on the East Coast, and they'd been a comfortable, if informal, bi-coastal item ever since. It might seem strange that a successful Hollywood lady would go for a nomadic gent who ran through passports like water, could spout off funny, if lewd, phrases in 30 languages, and never would be financially secure. Yet Lelia had tired of the men in her circle. As she diplomatically explained it once, they were complete and total lying scum and unreliable to boot. Tom was a newsman, she said, so at least he occasionally dealt with the truth. She also loved his rugged good looks. He took that to mean the deep lines etched on his face from reporting in windswept desert climates with bullets flying. In fact, his face was more often than not down in the sand in observance of local safety regulations. She listened with rapt attention to Tom's tales of covering major stories around the globe. For his part, he observed with admiration the professional way Lelia went about her loony voice career. And they didn't have to live together year-round. A decided advantage, Tom believed, over the complex hurdles facing couples who actually cohabitated. He'd been briefly married, but had never had kids. Today, his ex-wife wouldn't accept a collect call from him if he were hemorrhaging to death on the street. He was 41 and had just lost his mother to a stroke. His father had been dead for several years. Being an only child, he was truly alone now, and that had made him introspective. Half his time on Earth was gone, and all he had to show for it was a failed marriage, no offspring, an informal alliance with a California voiceover queen, a truckload of newsprint, and some awards. By any reasonable measure, it was a miserable excuse for an existence. He'd had an opportunity for a wonderful life with another woman, but the relationship had inexplicably fallen apart. He now fully understood that not marrying Eleanor Carter would forever stand as the major mistake of his life. Yet, ever the man of action, and wanderlust upon him once more, Tom was taking the train to LA for Christmas. Why the train? One might ask, when there were perfectly good flights that would get him there in a fraction of the time? Well, a guy can only take so many of those airport security search wands, venturing into sacrosanct places, or requests to drop chargers in front of strangers, or ransacking of carrying on bags. And if you would like to know what happens next, you can check this book out on the Libby app. This has actually also been turned into a Hallmark Channel movie with Dermot Mulroney, I believe. Yes, Dermot Mulroney. So, yeah, read the book and then go watch the movie and let me know what you think. Please join me here in a few weeks as I read from the beginning of Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. Thank you and have a great weekend.